Hello friends and welcome back to the channel. Season 47, War number 7, and today we have a matchup against Chaos. These guys aren't pushing, I believe, this season. So team today, Ironheart returning once again along with Carl and Chee'ilth. We have 6 fights today, let's jump right in. Starting out on path number 1, we have a MORDO on node number 1, and originally I was assigned Chee'ilth for this fight. But I looked at the node list and I was like, there's no reason I can't use Ironheart here, so I called an audible for myself here. Also enabled me to kind of balance out the fights a bit more. Chee'ilth had, she has the next fight and then a mini-boss later, so I figured if I used Ironheart here, I could be a bit more efficient with my items and just use like a team potion instead. So right here, I get caught by Stand Your Ground. Thankfully, he was already blocking and I didn't get parried, but I'm unable to remove his power gain there. That's fine. This fight is just pretty much just a straight MORDO fight. Nothing really going on here at all. Just, you know, we have him, you know, pseudo heal blocked from all the debuffs. I don't think I do the special 2 in this fight, but I think I do in the next Ironheart fight here. So, I mean, his special 3, if he gets to it, it doesn't really hit that hard. This is a 7-star MORDO, but I think it's only a rank 2, so I'm not too concerned about it. Just keeping those debuffs paused, making sure to bait out the specials. You know, it's just standard MORDO stuff. Hit into him when his power gain is up. He's being pretty cooperative now about using those specials, enabling me to remove that power gain, so this ends up being pretty much a nothing fight. Alright, next up we have an I-Bomb on node 10. Big shout out to my alliance mate Bitter Steel. He took this fight with Chee'ilth, I think last season, and I was able to use his fight as a guide. So the deal here is that because I-Bomb is going to be poisoning himself so frequently, he's going to be triggering the masochism over time and healing and be unblockable from Vigorous Assault. So you really have to do a lot of work kind of fishing for blind intercepts in this fight. It's also really important that you get the taunt off before you get him a bar of power, because I don't believe his special 1 can be fully dexed, so you really need that steadfast passive in order to block the special 1 or you're going to have a really bad time. So right here I'm trying to, again, fish for another intercept rather than risk parry and him going unblockable. And I mistime that one. I take a combo. Now he's right below a bar of power, so I need this intercept off. I get it. Go right into the special 2. This is going to apply the Tranquilize debuff. And this is not only going to prevent him from poisoning me when I hit into him, it's also going to hopefully prevent some of the poisons from applying to himself as well. I nail the heavy counter on that special 1 to pause my debuffs, and from here the fight is pretty much over. I can have the taunt up still, heavy after the striker, block this special 1, and we're going to heavy counter this one, and that's pretty much all she wrote. I think I special intercept here probably, or do I fish for another taunt here? No, yeah, there we go. Bleeds pretty much do him in, so really solid fight. Thanks again, Bitter, for that. Up in section 2 now, we're on path 4. We have a TERRAX on node 22. Gonna go in here with Carl in magma form, and you saw me pop an advanced power boost just so we can get up to that special 2 and refine a bit faster. I actually think that TERRAX is a little bit more difficult of a fight when he is like low to mid sig, because when he's at sig 200, which is what we used to see TERRAXs at, he stays in rock form pretty much the whole fight, and he's so aggressive that you can just intercept freely for the entire fight, and it's fine. So right here, his rock field does expire, and he becomes a little bit less aggressive, so just a little bit more tricky. I mean, there's real no danger here that you're going to let your form fall off, and it's still a very easy fight, but it just takes, you know, a few seconds longer. All right, moving on, we have a HAVOK. On node 31, we had a HAVOK in the previous war on the previous node. This one I think is much easier placement for HAVOK. So we're going to be pretty much doing the same strategy with Ironheart. So we're going to be doing a bunch of double mediums just to get our debuffs applied here. We have 6 applied and tracking active before the special 1. And now we can basically just block bait heavies here, which forces him to consume some of his plasma, and we're going to try and push him to special 2 as much as possible. We are able to block the special 2 with tracking up, but I decide to do the full dex there. And this is a rank 2 HAVOK, so I do have challenger rating disadvantage here. I am going to try and get to the special 2, but between the challenger rating and HAVOK's natural crit resistance, the special 2 really doesn't do as much damage as I thought it was going to do. So something to keep in mind, I think, for future matchups here. I think we get Only 2 crits out of that special 2, and there's like 6 or 7 hits total, I think, in there. Probably would have killed him if we had gotten like 1 or 2 more crits, but it is what it is. We were able to follow up and finish the fight. Real easy fight with Ironheart there. All right, here we are with a Maestro on 45, and I'll be honest, I was not supposed to take this fight. There was an update to the plan that didn't actually make it into the plan, and there was just some miscommunication, not blaming anybody for this, but this was supposed to be assigned to Kushala. That being said, I have taken this fight before with Carl. The problem here is that my Carl is only a rank 5, and this is a rank 3 Maestro, and with that kind of disparity between ranks, you really have to play things almost perfectly here. And I do not, as you're going to see, and I end up giving up a death here, which could have been avoided had I just, read the plan correctly, I guess. So the deal here is that you want to knock him down frequently, which is going to pause his cosmic charge generation or whatever it's called, and then you want to heavy cancel into your special 1 as much as possible to get the increased crit, and also you'll have much more red damage from all the refined. And then finally, you want to not do a medium light medium combo when you're at max shapeshift charges, because he will glance the regen, he will glance the vulnerability. So you want to build up to your max of 600 and then just use a special to apply both of those effects, since Maestro cannot glance a special attack. So where this fight kind of goes off the rails for me is I think I take 2 special 1s to the face. You just saw 1 there, but then the radiation damage just proves to be a bit too much for a rank 5, and right here we're starting to lose the health race here. I'm trying to do my best to keep my form paused, because in the previous time that I took this fight, I did actually lose my form, and I took a bunch of shocks and almost died from that. So there's just a lot of stuff in play here. I also forgot, I think, about Conflictor, which gave him too much power at one point. Taking that special 2 on the block was not ideal. That did a ton of damage. And right here, I'm pretty much sure that I'm dead from Cosmic Radiation, and there we go. So, yeah, an Ascended rank 5 Carl probably handles that fight easily, but I don't think that a regular rank 5 should be sent here anymore. But, again, that's kind of on me for not just watching chat, I guess. So right here, we're going to bait out 1 special 2, heavy punish with the special 1, and I think that ends up killing him. So really, like one more special probably would have done it in. If I hadn't made a couple of mistakes in the previous run, we probably would have gotten the solo, but it is what it is. Alright, final fight of the war is our old friend Joe FIXIT on 48 here. Typically we see him on 49. I can't recall having to fight him before, but the strategy is mostly the same. You want to block bait heavies, push him to that special 2. You don't ever want him to use that special 1. And if you play this way, you really don't need the taunt, because his special 2 is a pretty easy dex. So with Feat of Vigilance, I personally hate dealing with this node. So whenever I play it, my plan is always to try and get a heavy off after that Vigilance buff ends, and then never use a special attack again, which will never trigger that Vigilance buff a second time. So that works out pretty well for me. However, what ends up happening here is, not on this special 2, but I think the next special 2, I end up taking the full thing right to the face, and it gets 2 crits for like 80 or 90k damage. I think it's this one here. So it deals almost my entire health pool in damage there. 23k crit and a 54k crit here. So right here I'm thinking, okay, there's a decent chance that could happen again. So I wanted to use the special 3 here. That's going to trigger my regen buff. You can use this once per fight. That's going to heal up a certain percentage of her maximum health, and that's going to give me a nice buffer for the rest of the fight. So we get a bunch of health back from Adrenaline there, and you can see her regen is ticking for quite a bit, about 3,000 per second. From here, I've pushed him to the special 2 with that special 3, so now I just need to fish for 1 more special 2, being extra careful here, because I don't want to take another special 2 to the face. We get this one off, we get the heavy punish to pause our bleeds. Well, it was only, I guess, the 1 bleed. And then from here, the fight is pretty much over. So, yeah, Chee'ilth's regen, just really, really strong, underrated part of her kit. It's there when you need it, and I definitely needed it in that fight. We did come away with the win. Shout out to Chaos. I know they're not pushing this season, But there's some friendly players over there. Damn Epic is over there. Pepe is over there, I think, as well. 6 kills for me. 1 death definitely could have been avoided, but it is what it is. And our record has improved through 7 wars to 6-1. So I imagine we have a bit of a gauntlet coming up here. We haven't played GT40 yet this season, and we haven't played Nefty yet either. So I'm assuming that that is going to be our next 2 wars. So we'll see how those go. Anyways, folks, if you enjoyed this one, please let me know by pressing that like button. And as always, thank you very much for watching. See you again next time.